see his interview about him getting knocked out in practice. He talks about that, and that's something that you fear. His fear, he's desperate, and it's something that he thinks about is being. So he's trying to pass that light on to me, is focusing on me. Oh, you've been knocked out. There's video of it. I'm gonna pass it on to you. But that's what he fears. He fears of me knocking him out, and he's damn right. That's what I'm gonna do in there on December 30th, knocking him out. He hasn't evolved. He's been the same fighter to me. You know, his movements, the way he fights, his strategy. You know, the only thing that's changed is that he's gotten older. He's had 2 blown out knees. You know, busted up hands. He's an older fighter in there. Like I said, I'm a new school. I'm a hybrid fighter. It's coming from like mixing it all. Like grew up in the martial arts, not just one necessarily. Like, you know, the older school days, like Tito Ortiz, those guys, they kind of, you know, got washed out. You know, they did great. They were amazing. But there's always a new wave. You know, in the next 10 years, there's gonna be a new wave of fighters that I'm gonna have to face. You know, I'm gonna have to, you know, a young hungry lion. I'm at the top of the mountain that's gonna try to take my title from me, and that's where he's at right now, and that's where I'm at. But I believe that he's getting ready for the next chapter of his life. You know, he took the box commentating job, which he's a great, you know, broadcaster, and he does amazing at that. But another thing too, he's okay. You know, he said that he's happy without, you know, not having the belt. He knew that he didn't need that to be happy. So for me, he's kind of relinquishing that. He's kind of going into the next chapter, getting ready for that. You know, being okay like with not having it. And I think he's losing focus. You know, he's working 2 weeks before the fight. You know, he's breaking down all these fights. You know, you got me in front of you. You know, you should be solely focused on me. So I knock people out. That's something that he fears, and that's what he's in his mind. He's trying to get it out of his head and get it onto me, shed the light on me, so that everyone in the media is asking me about my concussions. But it's what he fears. It's his insecurities coming out. I see through him, and you know, it's fine that he wants to keep bringing that on me. Almeida and his camp did the same thing, and they found out the hard way, and Dominic Cruz is going to find out the same way December 30th.
What's going on, guys? Mighty here. Just got the call from you Saturday looking for the champ. I told him at Total Lamb I'm picking some brew for the stream tonight, so we'll do a piss test at a convenience store. See how this goes.
I appreciate the call out. I appreciate the respect that you're showing me. But I've never fought anybody with less than 8 fights. Not even in my first pro fight. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, we're at different phases in our career. I'm not looking at knocking off a future contender that I'm possibly going to be commentating for in the future. And at the same time, if I was going to fight, I want to fight a veteran. I want to fight someone that's had 20, 30 fights, that, you know, has matured in their game and is sure of their fighting style, instead of someone that's still developing. I like to see the development of these young fighters, and I don't want to interfere with that in any way.
That's, you know, he has a right to feel that way. I respect that too. That's cool. You know, you're a legend. Would have been an honor to fight you. That's cool, man. Yeah, I love you, Dan.
Because I didn't want to be that person who stands in the octagon or post defeat and makes excuses and points blame. I didn't want to be that person. I've seen that many times. I think that's that shows a weakness in character. I accepted it was me. It was my fault. Nothing, no matter whether I was under the weather or anything that was going wrong in camp or in preparation, I did not mention none of that. I took the loss like a man, the way a champion does. I went, I regrouped, I came back, better prepared, and I got that win back. And that's what I've been doing my whole career. I've been doubted my whole career. I've been counted out my whole career. Again, his last pay-per-view was 350,000 buys. It was a flop. The fight was a dud. His last 2 fights have been duds. So, I certainly don't need him. I could pick some local schmuck and still do big numbers. So that's where I'm at. Of course, the Floyd fight is the fight the public want to see. It's the fight that we all want to happen. But we'll see. These things take time.
I said, what are you doing running? And you're saying it was really good out?
It's the perfect texture for running. Very low impact on its dry snow, so your feet don't get wet.
All right, thanks. We've seen a lot of people out here, like you said, running, sledding, just enjoying it. One thing, oops, that could happen, unfortunately. Looks like Chelsea's okay. You okay?
It's the perfect texture for running, very low impact on its dry snow so your feet don't get wet.
This is #1 bullshit.